We've been talking about the FITT principle. Last week we talked about F for frequency. Today we'll talk about I for intensity. Intensity is important, but it's often misunderstood. First off, intensity does not mean difficulty. Let me explain. If you were to run a marathon, 26.2 miles, this is a difficult event. Once you're finished, you're usually done for the day. You're not going to turn around and do it all over again. At least most of us don't. And so this is a very difficult activity, but when you're actually running it, you're sort of kind of jogging, at least most of us are. And so you're not running anywhere close to your maximum speed. On the other hand, if you were to do a 100-yard sprint and try to do as best as you can, you're going to be running pretty much as fast as you can possibly run. But if I asked you 5 minutes after you finish to do it all over again, you probably could and may do just as well or maybe even better. So a 100-yard sprint is high intensity, but it's not particularly difficult. We can just do it all over again. And so that's what intensity is. Intensity is how hard we're working compared to our maximum. Now, this is, assuming you're consistent with your workout, the most important of the variables. For cardiovascular intensity, there's a number of different ways that we can measure this. We could use speed or pace. We could use some sort of percentage of our heart rate, or we could use a subjective measure like rating of perceived exertion. If we use speed or pace, this is a measure that's more often used by more experienced exercisers, especially if they're serious about their running or cycling or swimming. There's no recommendation here because two people working equally as hard relative to their abilities may be moving at two different paces. The person who runs a 3-hour marathon and the person who takes 4.5 hours to run it probably are working just as hard compared to their maximum. Next time, we're going to talk about how to use heart rate and rating of perceived exertion to measure the intensity of our cardiovascular exercise. Now remember, if you need help with your workout, you can get free help if you are on our CPS Anthem plan by contacting our health centers and setting up an appointment with one of our health coaches.